Okay.
Watto tells him that he sold her to some moisture farmer. With a scorned look, Annie and Padme leave the Lars of Resonance. Now that Anakin is here a lot earlier than in the original timeline, he sets out to save his mother in the same fashion as before. However, now...
So, we're gonna be making like a little camp site at the wherever we went, the North Pole. So first of all, you gotta make them.
Then stealthily took her out of there and back home. As everyone was happy to have Shmi back, he showed her to Padme, as the last time they saw each other was over 10 years ago. Anakin stepped outside to look at the starry night sky. He felt happy. He had saved his mother. Finally, his night years could end, putting him in peace. Feeling a warm energy behind him, Padme turned back around to go inside when Anakin said, "Don't go. The presence is sooner." Anakin was finally able to tell her about his obsession, the reason why they were here in the first place.
Okay, so
With his finger, he tells her, "And I said, it's coarse, rough, and irritating." As she looks at him in an awkward manner, he leans in for a kiss, where she pulls away immediately. It's okay, he thinks to himself. He's surrounded by his true passion and reason to live. Sand. The rest of the mission would result in everyone getting along well, including the belief to Geonosis, where all the events would take place the way they had, except for Mr. Dooku. Anakin had kept that small vial of sand with him that Qui-Gon gave him all those years ago. When Obi-Wan tells him to take Dooku together, Anakin, having just spent a long mission with his mother, Padme, and Sand, he felt refreshed, calm, and ready. Sand, sand, sand. He would obey his master and take him together. Only this time, as they circled him, Anakin would pull a fast one and take the vial of sand and throw it in Dooku's eyes, distracting, partially blinding, and irritating the Sith Lord. As pain, telling him how it's so coarse, rough, and irritating, how it got everywhere, Anakin would strike him, taking him in the absolute Lord, telling him to never underestimate the power of the sand. Dooku would be taken back to course into the Jedi Temple, where Anakin would be promoted to the rank Jedi Knight for defeating the Sith Lord with his cunning tactics. As the Council would interrogate their old and most esteemed ally, Dooku would finally cave as he looked at Obi-Wan, remembering Qui-Gon, his late Padawan. He would tell them everything he told Kenobi before about how Sidious was the Sith Lord that they were looking for, and that it was actually Palpatine in disguise clouded their judgments. Sending Dooku to galactic prison.
So of course we got a campsite.
All Jedi Masters would enter the chant. There was no escaping this. Sidious could not take literally our Jedi Council by himself. His plans had failed and he knew it. Dooku would testify against him in the court of the Galactic Senate, where Palpatine would be found guilty for high treason, the Clone Wars, and the attack on Padme's life. As they watched the trial, Anakin played with sand in his pockets. They were absolutely filled for boring occasions like these. If anyone needed to find Anakin, all they needed to do was follow his sandy trail of brains. Palpatine would be arrested for eternity. Dooku would be reinstated as a
So obviously we got some stone. Why do we get stone? You know, it's confusing. You know, like, so we got stone to get shovels, right? Right. Well, alright. You say, okay, shift click. Come on. No, not caps lock. Shift click. Alright. So now we gotta go get some sand. Da da dun da 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 dun, ya da dun 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 dun. My pickaxe just snapped on the cow's back. Alright. Let's see, we can see we need lots of sand. Let's just move everything like 3-block radius. Boom, boom. Oh, whatever. How much do we have? 28. Damn it. Alright, so we want at least like a good stack.
That flower wasn't there last night. Correct. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Ow, bullyism.
Get this, guys. We have something to do. All right, we don't just have to sit around alone today. Well, we will be complete. Look how many people are on the server, and not for the first time since I joined, not one of them said hi to me. Every single time I log on, they say hi, and today no one did. But that's okay, because we have this tent. Well, we have this tent in front, actually. But it's okay. you know, he's got good intentions. I'm sure he's never... I'm sure he has no controversies up his sleeve. So how are you, pal? What about you?
I'm just gonna play around with the spacebar.
Well, no. You know what? We're not gonna be sad. We're not gonna, because it's okay. It's okay. Because we have things to do. And this is just, he's just been told to stay home. He's just... Oh. Do I have a shield on me? Do I have a shield? Oh, yes. Oh. Guys! That is just what we needed. You don't understand. Today, we actually have a bit of a goal. One of the things I realised is that just over here, we haven't gone and spoke to the locals. There are a couple things we need to do, because if you can't stay motivated, then we won't have anything to do. Oh my god, let's run away from him. We're gonna work out how to keep doing things, you know? And not sit around crying. Not that I've ever cried. I'm too powerful. Except when I do. Why is Pun still on? Guys. And
Alright, there we go, we got our stack.
this is a question you should all ask yourself. Why is Pun not banned from this server yet? Something about him. Anyway, no, that's Stone Tower's lost. I don't like that. Something sus about that. I would vote that shit. We need to kill Enderman. But there are the locals, and we've yet to say hi. And I was watching a little bit of the techno pop, by the way. I was watching this techno right on channel, like, skip for a bit. And every time I did, it just said the word subscribe, like with no fail. And I skipped to like 4 times that. What? Now everyone, if you should know, we're gonna go back and reclaim everything at some point and kill dreams. I was thinking, what dreams? Because they're so OP. And I haven't said hi to the locals. Please, I need someone to talk to. Please tell me you speak English. Speak English! Dígame pide! Mi gusta! Okay. Mi baño! Train! They don't speak English. They're ignoring me. Fuck you! I hated you anyway. No, I don't hate you. You're gonna be better. We're gonna be pals. Why don't they speak English? Anyway, not to worry. What we've got to do now, okay? Is there a brewing standard here? Because if there is, that's gonna make my whole plan a lot easier. So, you guys realise that in every single wall we've been in, and believe me, we're gonna be in so many more. But for now, we just need to accept that maybe we're gonna be here for a little while. Check under your chest. We need to get ourselves an ender chest. We have the pearl, we have the obsidian, because we have emeralds in there. And if we can get emeralds, then we can trade and we can start getting more pearls. We can start getting more shit, alright? So what I'm thinking to do is find ourselves get some blaze powder. But firstly, let's do the donation.
How? right now. Except my rash, my leg has just been cut off. And everyone's going, oh, well, you can come to the What did I want? Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, let's just check. I'm very paranoid now. Is that Diddy? Can we listen? Can we listen? Music. It's like a person, but they're not here. It's like a... This is very valuable to me. This might be the disc that gets me through my holiday. But one of the things you've got to know is that, and this is the thing that not many people know, in my first ever video and stream of the war, so I started a war with Dream. This one. Do you want to know what my goal was when I started this stream? And I kid you not. You'll probably find the VOD. My goal was to make an ender chest. Because I kept the two discs down here. And right now we've got all of our valuables in the same place that happened. And history's been repeating itself a lot recently. So what we need to do, we need to get an ender chest today. And no, I won't be taking handouts. I'm not going anywhere near that prime log. Alright? What we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves some fresh powder. We're going to get an ender chest. And we're going to do up this land. Because if we don't, I'm going to go insane if we don't. No, but you know what? We're not going to be demotivated. We're not going to be... No, that's motivated chaps. Let's get some... Right. Do not have sex with terrorists.
Damn. Tough.
And he's right. He's not wrong in that aspect. He's just not wrong. Now we know it's all gonna be alright.
Okay.
It'll be alright. So let's take this disc. Let's put it in that chest. OMG, so motivational. Yes. We've got something to stubborn and look.
So now,
I will look. But if there is one, I'm not going to take a pity one. Because now, I'm telling you, it is like... This is similar to the time... I'm not sure how I feel about right now. All these people... It's from parents. Chat, you know how insulting this is. Does he think I can't get my own ender chest? This is so insulting. And he must have mined the dirt under my prime log. Do you know how insulting this is? Do you know how insulting?
oh, this actually feels insanely good.
There we go. Justice is restored. You can stay. Guys, it was from Errors. Alright? Are you insane? Shall I remind you all of the sin Eric committed? Can anyone remember? Do you think I want to... Listen, guys.
Damn it. I just noticed that it was looking at me.
In the right. With that book arrow, you know what I'm saying? You know what this is like? You're being stupid. This is like, you know when you fall on this, or you know... You know when like one of your pets dies at school? You know when one of your pets dies? And then all of a sudden you feel really upset. And all the people that are usually arseholes to you start being nice to you all of a sudden. This is that. This is that. And I will not let my pet die.
That really like hurt my soul a little bit.
So my friends run a Minecraft tournament with over 200 YouTubers, including these names you may recognize. But 2 days before the event, I get a
there. Okay, so what am I supposed to do? I'm like extremely bored, and this whole scenery is actually making me feel more tired, if that was like a thing. So, you know, like yeah, this is like really kind of bad. And so here we're not gonna use a blue bed because, you know, blue beds are for cool, you know, so like gotta put this down. It's supposed to be like snow. Bang. Actually, don't mind. Slightly above. Oops. Oops, yeah. Sleep. So I can't sleep when I'm taking damage. Alright, that's noted. Just trying to find something to listen to, really. Grab my earbuds so I don't get copyrighted or whatever. All of the above. Okay, let me just fix this and put this into my ear. That actually works. Alright, there we go. Earbuds are in. Take this, play it into lock computer, and listen to some Karen stuff. Well, actually, I just saw some much later stuff. Alright. Okay, there we go. Look at all this snow. Okay. So, let's get a whole bunch of bro. It sounds like I'm fapping or something. I want a stack of cobble. Freak. So Elmo's World, Elmo's World. Disappointment. Alright. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's so dumb. I hate. Alright. Star Wars. One of the biggest examples of family, alright? Families come together to watch it, families come together to enjoy it, and the biggest family, like the family in the movie, is like one of the most important things. Padme, the wife of Vader and Anakin Skywalker. She's incredibly important. And okay. And so now we get on to the point of what if makers, alright? So, what if makers, I have nothing against you guys, but if you do this, I don't understand why. Well, like, sure, the Jedi would have done this, sure, the Jedi would have done that, but I don't think you should split up Leia and Luke. Like, in certain situations, say, Ahsoka would train Luke, but, she doesn't want, Leia. What do? You split them up, right? Much like they do, and I have, Bail Organa, not train, because, you know, there's no training involved at all, period. One of the most powerful Force beings at all. Like, if she got kidnapped, which, you know, like, by Vader or something, then she would, if they realized that she had, like, an incredibly high amount of midichlorians, then it would have been over. Period. Over. Like, I don't understand. The Jedi were so stupid. Oh, the boy must be trained. But the girl obviously is forgotten about. You know, at least in the sequels, they talk about Luke training Leia. At least it happens later. But, you know, if more than literally 3 Jedi survived, like 3 Masters survived, then Leia should be trained. But I don't want to hear anything else. Like, alright. It just gets my goat every time. Why wouldn't she be trained? You know, she is another daughter of Skywalker. Alright. Yoda was looking forward to training Leia more than Luke. He says that himself. Himself. Alright? And I just feel like it's such a disappointment. Like every what if I watch. One of my favorite what ifs is where Luke and Leia get to live together as actual siblings. And Ahsoka raises them. You know, which I also like really enjoy because, you know, Obi-Wan raising Luke, okay. But then Bail Organa. Like, okay. Bail Organa. Like, wartime efforts, alright. Help the Jedi, alright. But do you really want to trust a senator with one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy? Or one of the most powerful beings to be in the galaxy? You know? Like, really? Do you really that, like, incredibly smart that you would trust a senator with, like, an incredible, powerful body? You know, like, well, I mean, not body, but, you know, I mean, like, he could use Leia not as a daughter, but, like, as the Emperor used Vader, you know, like, really? You definitely think that's neat? She should be trained. Period. She should be trained. I don't want to hear anything like, oh, but no. Yes, she should be trained. These freaking husks are actually the most annoying thing I've ever dealt with in my life. Like, guys, can you, like, actually duck off? Like, alright, let's actually just probably don't have much durability. Oh my god. Oh, this is perfect. Okay. Now that he's dead, we come in here. Lock. There you go. Freaking finally. Yep. Alright. Oh yeah, they trust Bail Organa, blah blah blah, Bail Organa, Bail Organa. Bail Organa is a senator, alright. He's a ruler of a planet. If he wanted to, he could just scrape up some Jedi teachings and at least train her, like, give her, like, these samples. And if she, like, wonders, oh, what about the Jedi, what happened to them, you know? Where did they go to? Tell them. Like, what are you really gonna do? Like, I feel like keeping away the fact that Leia was, oh my god. Like, tell her she has a sibling, bro. Like, really? Like, have to talk to her, you know, like, you're not actually my kid, you're adopted, you know, you kind of should, bro. Like, I know, you know, you seem like, oh, she's your daughter and stuff, you know, it's not needed, you know, but, you know, like, she never finds out, you know, like, oh, blood test, you're not actually related to your father, you know. Well, the questions are gonna come up then, you know. Do you really want them now, of all times? You know? It's just sometimes, like, if I adopted a daughter, I would tell her as soon as I could. As soon as I could. Not because, you know... Not because I feel the, obligation that, you know, I feel that she should know or feel the obligation. If I knew her parents were like, oh, say I was her godfather and she's been living with me her whole life, then I have an obligation to tell her that, oh, her parents were these incredible people, you know, and they died, because they were, they got in a fight, you know. They don't have to tell them that Vader is the father, you know. Vader is not Anakin Skywalker, he says that himself. Like, oh, if Leia asked him, like, do you know who Anakin Skywalker is? No. He would say he wouldn't. Why would, you know... 5, 6. Two, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Into this guy called What If Aiden. He's cool. Comes up with really nice what ifs installers. Yeah. Okay, so we definitely want a lot of this stuff. Alright, just finished another What If by What If Aiden. And I love this guy because he did a very good one on what if Obi-Wan left the order what if damn, my back, shit. Oh my god. What if Padme left the order? I mean, not Padme, Obi-Wan left the order. And he did a great one on that one because its effect on Anakin and Padme. And I wholeheartedly agree on how he did it. Of course, you know, it's a lot of things that are very interesting in a Star Wars What If. And Anakin, being the chosen one, is, you know, the center of most of them. Because, you know, chosen one status up in here. Alright. You know what? Just because, you know, I'm listening to all these what ifs, I want to do what if Naruto was a Jonin. For like a long time, I've been actually writing a story on Wattpad, and you know, it's I read one, and I found it vaguely disgusting. Not, because, in that story, Naruto was gay. And I hate it. I hate it when they change characters. I hate it when they change the characters. Like, Naruto wasn't gay in, the original show, so why are you making him gay now? You know, like, that's some stuff that I just don't, doesn't make sense to me. So I personally, I think it would have been like a great what if, but you know, just whenever that happens, I don't like it, because it just doesn't suck, you know. Just found it like mildly annoying. And so I'm gonna start off with I'm just gonna do it on here. So first of all, you know, we want to talk about Naruto and how's Minato gonna work, because of course, you know, if Naruto is a Jonin, then that means Minato would have had to been a bit older. And so instead of his efforts in the Third Great Ninja War, it was his efforts in the Second and Third Great Ninja War that made him become the fourth Hokage. And Hiruzen being the third after the second passed. And then after that, Hiruzen unwillingly retired. And I'm saying unwillingly because, you know, he still had a few years on him. You know, he could have stayed Hokage for a while. And so yeah, Minato basically got early access, you know. And so what's happening with that is we also want to have Minato teach Naruto the Haraishin, like early on. Of course, to the protest of the council. Actually, no, not to the protest of the council, because right now there will be no attempt on Kushina's life when she gives birth to Naruto. So she'll still be the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. And you know, this is important because, of course, now Naruto doesn't have the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki in him. And parents will be a lot more willing to let their children, you know, talk to Naruto, especially because he's the fourth son. You know, you can't really forget about that bit. You know, parents, if anything, parents are going to be encouraging their kids to talk to Naruto. And, you know, I didn't want to bring any characters back for this, so Sasuke and all that fun stuff will still be, like, in the future. But I didn't know who to put Naruto with. I was contemplating Kurenai, but you know, I just didn't see that ever working out. And you know, not working out, but I just didn't, you know, really want to go into that. And so it might be considered lazy writing. I'm sorry, but you know, I brought Hinata back, and of course, so Naruto will save him for her from bullies, except he's successful in beating them because, you know, of course, he's a prodigy. You know, he's, you know, this might be surprising to you guys, but you know, Naruto was rather good actually. You know, he applied certain situations to learning, and he learned faster. You know, much like how he was learning the Rasengan. I remember in the when I was watching the anime, he was, you know, doing the. He watched the cat do something to the water balloon, and that's how I figured out how to pop it. You know, and so. He's definitely gonna be rather smart, you know, as well, because you can't really have not smart, well, I mean, whatchamacallit, Konohamaru is definitely an example that, you know, you can be bratty in the beginning, but then gets a lot better midway. And so I think that's definitely gonna happen with Naruto, you know. Before he becomes a Genin, though, you know, he's definitely gonna have all that kind of, not beaten out of him, but, you know, like, he no longer, sees fit that, you know, oh, shouldn't be, like, messing around, you know. And he wants to focus more on training, since he definitely can train a lot more than he could in the original timeline. And you know, he was definitely trying to progress, because, you know, he's trying to learn ninjutsu when he was very young. He knew sexy jutsu, which if I don't see why he never thought of this, but why didn't he just transfigure himself into someone else, so the villagers would stop looking at him so rudely? But, you know, guess it never crossed his mind. And then, you know, but of course that's not going to be a part of this what if. And so, yeah, Naruto rescues Hinata from the bullies, and believe it or not, but he rescues Hinata once again from Kumo when they tried kidnapping her. While he didn't kill the kidnapper, he delayed them until proper help could be sent in the fourth Hokage. And of course, you know, the current Raikage would definitely be kind of mad, because his plan to get the pure eye, the Byakugan, failed, and you know, for some reason he really wants the Byakugan. And so, of course, it's gonna be really hard for the Leaf Village to get that peace treaty. But I feel like Minato could definitely pressure the Raikage into it, because, you know, while during in the second and third Great Ninja War, he fought with the third Raikage and swamped him, like beat him up so bad that at this point, like, that's why Kumo was like attempting to that's why they jumped out the war. The round side stuff still happens, you know. And so Kumo was just trying to get good with the Leaf Village, and, you know, while doing that, you know, oh, might as well try to get the Byakugan, you know, the pure eye, which is, you know, supposed to be like really good, and comes with one of the most powerful taijutsu styles ever, the Gentle Fist. So once you get yeah, so Naruto saves Hinata, and Hiyashi is kind of mad that, you know, why couldn't Hinata, yes, Hiyashi will still be her father, but, you know, oh, why is Hinata so weak? You know, she needs to take her training more seriously. And he's definitely contemplating on whether or not he should you know, see if whether or not Hinabi can become the heiress. And that's really where he's going right now. He's going to see if Hinabi can actually become the heiress. And Naruto, you know, you must also be thinking, oh, Naruto's not going to have enough chakra reserves for the Shadow Clone. But you know, I don't know if this is actually canon, but the Uzumaki have giant chakra reserves. And so I'm going to say Naruto has 4 times the amount of his father's, which is already Bijou level, you know. So it's going to be like incredibly critical. So, you know, Naruto already has beefy chakra. Like he has more chakra than the two tails or the three tails. So he could actually fight those Bijou, and in a stamina battle he would win. Although you know, strength wise he would get swamped, like, period. And yeah. So all this stuff is happening, and of course, you know, Hinata gets a little crush on Naruto, and Naruto, not being as thick-skulled, can actually make it out and see it this time. And while, you know, he doesn't have all those problems with not being able to get friends, and also probably having a fangirl club by this point in time, you know, just nameless people. Really, I don't think any of the girls that we know that were in that graduating year would actually be for Naruto, you know. There'd be well, actually it might be, but you know, they're not really that, you know, interested. Not that insanely interested. Just you know, curious. More is more like it. And so Naruto continues to progress at a lot faster speed, and I'm definitely gonna say that he learns Kenjutsu. Now, I don't know if this is canon once again, but you know, Kushina is supposed to be one of the best swordsmen in the Hidden Leaf. This is like off of me reading other what ifs, so I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but Kushina is supposed to be one of the best Kenjutsu users in the Hidden Leaf, rivaling the seventh swordsman of the Mist. And so he's gonna be set, you know. He's gonna get Kenjutsu, and he's gonna learn from his mom, and Uzumaki style Kenjutsu, and he's also going to learn the Hiraishin from his father, because, you know, that's definitely one of his most powerful techniques, and I feel like once again he would want it to be much like the Nara's shadow possession jutsu, and it's gonna be like a clan technique, like the Hyuga's 360 palm rotation. And so it's really just gonna be all around Naruto's beefy, you know. He's getting to the point where he's starting to be overpowered. Of course, he's got good grades in the graduation class, and now this is where we get into Obito and Rin plus Kakashi. We can't forget about him. So, you know, they're still gonna be on Minato's Genin team. We're just gonna put Naruto with a nameless instructor, because I don't think the only one that I think really would have been suited for Naruto was his father, and I don't think they would do that because, you know, of favoritism and all that stuff. But yeah, so he would not be placed with Kakashi and Obito and in his father's Genin team. However, he will be placed on a Genin team, that much is certain. You know, he's not going to be like this huge slouch. You know, he's going to be able to do some stuff, you know, Rasengan, of course, and by now he's also going to be able to do the Odama Rasengan. So he's, you know, he's dishing out the pain. And so let's say Green, she has a gigantic crush on either Kakashi or Naruto. You know, I remember in the thing where it was like she wants to make babies with Kakashi. I don't know if that's, you know, like correct, but you know, I think yeah, that's what I remember. You know, she wants to have kids with Kakashi because, you know, her dream is to have strong kids for some reason. But you know, what type of parent doesn't want to see their kids successful? So, you know, that's what happens. And of course, so Hinata, being, you know, like, still shy, but not all around completely shy, because, you know, Naruto, someone's trying to get with Naruto, and she would, you know, like, oh, that's her savior, or she, while she, you know, is still shy, she's not going to just, you know, let Naruto be taken, you know, she's not just going to, sit there and watch Naruto, get with Rin, and, so basically, the same thing happens. So Obito is jealous of Naruto and Kakashi. So in the tuning exams, everything goes the same. You know, Naruto doesn't get into any special fights or anything, except at the very end where he fights Kakashi. And so I think we should do that fight real quick. So as Naruto stares at Kakashi, the proctor of the third round of the tuning exams, hollers begin. And Kakashi and Naruto are around the same speed level, but, you know, Naruto obviously knows the Hiraishin, so this is going to be very, very, very quick. And so Kakashi is fighting Naruto, right? And so they're going at it, you know. And Naruto believes that, oh, I don't really want to end it so soon because I don't really get to fight incredibly strong people besides my mom and my dad. And whenever I do fight them, I get swamped, you know. So he's like, oh, I wanna have a nice, good, long fight with Kakashi. And so, of course, he fights Kakashi, and, you know, he's going in taijutsu, and so he goes to try to kick Kakashi in the head, and so Kakashi catches his leg and slams him on the ground. Now he would then summon his dogs and try to lash Naruto onto the ground and keep him in one place so he can hit him a few times. So that happens, and Naruto is hit like once or twice by Kakashi. Once or twice, good, like pretty solid hits before he teleports away. Of course, you know, he's like, oh shoot, I didn't really want to use Hiraishin here, but, you know, Kakashi is much stronger than I expected, and so so he continues to fight Kakashi. Kakashi is getting tired. Like, you know, while they're doing a taijutsu bout, you know, Naruto and Kakashi are about this level. Naruto is a stamina freak. Like, he's, like, running all over the place all the time. And, you know, that's from him pulling his pranks and all that stuff. And so, you know, Naruto has been chased by some Chunins and stuff, so he can already outspeed them on, when he was, still in his Genin team, you know, at that point in time. So, of course, you know, there's all this stuff going on, and, you know, they're fighting and stuff, and so Naruto, he uses Shadow Clones here, and this is, you know, and so he goes to go against Kakashi, and he makes 3 Shadow Clones, and he uses one of them to make the Rasengan. He does have good chakra control. He just doesn't really want to use. He just wants it to keep nice and easy, or give Kakashi openings so that they can still get a good fight in. And so he uses his clone to make a Rasengan, and his other clone just makes a Rasengan on its own, you know. And so now there's 2 Narutos rushing straight at Kakashi with Rasengans in their hand. And, you know, Kakashi, he's pretty scared, you know, like, oh, this Naruto is Sensei's son, you know. He's definitely no pushover, I should have, you know, taken him more seriously from the very beginning, because while Kakashi is, you know, rather talented, you know, he is like, oh, I bet Naruto just got this on pure luck. Rain just likes him because he's the fourth son. But no, you know, he's pretty gnarly. And so while he's fighting, Obito's over here watching, you know, he's getting kind of jealous, you know, like, oh, how can I get this strong? You know, he has to dedicate more training, because he feels, oh, Naruto and Kakashi are gonna steal my dream of becoming Hokage, because, you know, oh, because Obito still wants to be Hokage, so all he really does is, you know, he ups his training regimen a little more, because, you know, he's watching Kakashi and Naruto fight, and, you know, Rin already likes both of them, so he feels like, oh, Rin already likes them, I gotta get better, you know, so Rin will like me. And of course, Hinata's over there cheering for Naruto, and of course, you know, Naruto is, you know, starting to smile, because Kakashi is starting to get rather tired. And all this is happening, you know, Minato's watching with the other Kage, and no, there will not be an attack, but, you know, they're just watching, you know. Third Raikage is still kind of fuming over the Hyuga stuff, and so he's not really talking to the fourth. And so the Kazekage, Gaara's father, starts talking, and he's like, so fourth Hokage, what's your well, assess your son, you know, like, what skill level is he? And so he replies, you know, he's right now, he's at least mid Jonin tier, except he's elite Jonin, but with no real experience in fighting. Well, because, you know, his team during the Ninja Wars were rather sheltered, instead of, because, oh, he's the fourth Hokage's son, while he should be fighting, you know, the fourth Hokage definitely still gives missions to his son's team, but he doesn't give them very high missions, even if, you know, he just out of a little, you know, like self-preservation for himself, you know, like, well, you know, the fourth Hokage is definitely very strong, you know, he wouldn't just have no feelings for his son at all, but, you know, so he still gives them missions and stuff, but he's rather sheltered, while Kakashi is mid Jonin with a lot of experience, because, you know, he goes on missions with the fourth Hokage, and, you know, trains with him occasionally, and with Naruto, because I forget to mention that, you know, he trains with Naruto every once in a while, because, you know, he's one of the four students, and so he wants to train with the fourth son to see if, you know, oh, is this all cracked up, all he is cracked up to be, you know, so he watches him train every once in a while, but, you know, never really had the urge to fight him. But, you know, here they go, and they're fighting, and so, yeah, while the fourth Hokage is giving him his assessment, teenage or Jonin Orochimaru is, you know, over there just like kind of sneering a little bit, because, you know, oh, while I was talented in my beginning days, you know, because he's one of the fourth Hokage's bodyguards. While he doesn't need one, you know, he still has them, you know. He's like, oh, I wasn't this talented when I was a Genin. How did I get this far? I mean, it's kind of mad, because, you know, oh, I'm supposed to be one of these legendary Sannin trained by the third Hokage, and these kids are easily Jonin level. And you know, he's like, oh well, I'm still S rank. I'm a bit above them, still. You know, and he's like, and he's wondering, oh, I could use, or I could probably use them for some of my experiments later. You know, I could probably, if the fourth, rather, if I can catch Naruto while the fourth isn't looking. And so, of course, eventually Naruto does win the fight. You know, he beats Kakashi in the fight, and so, you know, Rin is definitely ecstatic. You know, oh well, at least I finally know who's better out of the two of them. But Obito is definitely like, oh shoot, Naruto's stronger than Kakashi, and I can't even really fight Kakashi. You know, he's thinking like, oh, I definitely need to get a lot stronger. And of course, then there's the incident with the bridge, where Obito does still indeed get crushed. You know, instead, but this time, you know, it's more of it's still a self-sacrifice, because, you know, while Obito is much stronger, you know, he can't just like save Kakashi by, you know, like standing there. He can't just outspeed or there's just gonna be like some random bullshit explanation, you know, like they usually do. Oh, he wasn't, you know, going full speed, and you know, he's caught off guard by the rock falling, and so, you know, I'm just gonna give like some random bullshit excuse, because, you know, that's what writers do, you know? And so, yeah. So, you know. So yeah, Obito still is injured in Taki Bridge, and is found by Madara, and, you know, all this stuff happens. Except, you know, I'm going to say that Zetsu does not bring Obito out, you know, for that fight, because Naruto is there. And, well, you know, that's different. Like, oh, how is Naruto there? Well, his father gave Minato gave Kakashi Hiraishin thing for becoming a Jonin, and Naruto also became a Jonin, so they really just exchanged gifts and that sort of stuff, you know. Naruto gave Kakashi Hiraishin, and so did Minato, you know, just in case, because, you know, by this time they're like friends and rivals and stuff, you know. Oh, if you ever need me, you know, give me a call. And Kakashi's like, yeah, like I would never ever need your help, Naruto. And, you know, really they're like two little friends, you know, two little Genin friends. And so as this is happening, you know, he while Zetsu is watching, you know, the fight between the Blood Mist and that, he notices that oh well, look, Naruto's here now, and that's definitely going to change the fight exponentially. He knows the oh shoot, I forgot it, the flying regime. I'm just going to say that because I forgot its name for a quick second. I'll probably remember it later. But Naruto remembers this, and if the fourth Hokage could, you know, take down this many shinobi with that, could easily take down this many shinobi with that jutsu, you know, Naruto, while not a whole battalion, or not a full, like, army of people, this would still be pretty easy work for the flying Raijin jutsu, because, you know, it's said to let the user move at the speed of light. And so, of course, you know, Rin is saved against her will. You know, she doesn't actually want to be saved, because, you know, she realizes, oh, I have the three tails in me, you know, oh, let me die and all that stuff. Oh, once I get to the village, I'll it'll be unsealed, and I'll destroy the hidden leaf. And while, you know, Naruto is like over here like, so that's the case, you know. And his father would have taught him stealing jutsu, because while his mother is the Nine Tails Jinchuriki, so just in case anything bad ever happens, you know, he isn't available to you know, heal the Nine Tails or something like that, then Naruto would be able to you know, take care of that. And so Naruto tells her this, and like, oh, I can seal the Three Tails, you know, I can save you, you know, you wouldn't have to worry about it. You could actually become a perfect Jinchuriki. And she's like, what? You know, what does this mean? You know, and Naruto tells her like, oh, well, this just means that, you know, you'll be able to still come back to the Leaf Village, and you'll be, you know, perfectly fine, you know. You won't have to do anything. You won't have to, you know, like, you wouldn't, you know, nothing bad would happen, you know. And of course, you know, we would keep that you were in Jinchuriki to only the you know, the council. And so she's like, oh, well, if that's the case, then, you know, I guess I'll go back. So Kakashi is rather happy, because by this time, you know, he's gained feelings for Rin, not just because of Obito's promise, not kind of, but yeah, he's gained feelings for he's gained feelings for Rin, and so of course they're gonna end up together. And that's my plan, because so Rin and Kakashi would end up together, and if you're wondering, oh, Obito, what about Obito? You know, in the Fourth Great Ninja War, he definitely got over his feelings for Rin, while he was like, oh, I miss Rin, and I definitely feel like, who wouldn't feel miss like your childhood friend, who, you know, who you had a crush on, you know, and you watched your best friend kill right in front of your eyes, you know, and constantly blame him for that, you know, just to get under his skin, you know, just to frick with him, you know, because he's definitely Obito definitely had that like warped sense of humor, but he definitely wasn't like the, you know, being the coolest guy during the Fourth Ninja War, you know. He was, I feel like you know, Swag Kage, another Naruto YouTuber that I watch, he assesses Obito, and it's like, I think the video is called, like, stop messing with Obito or something, or stop hating on Obito, and he, talks about how, you know, Obito has really just been screwing with Kakashi, and that's the only reason why he was, saying all that stuff, because, you know, oh, he doesn't really want, you know, he doesn't really care about the stuff that happened to Rin anymore. You know, he really just associates that with a better time in his life before. He didn't have half of his body turn into white Zetsu, or he didn't have half of his body crushed, and you know, it's definitely something that I agree with. And so, you know, all this stuff, and so, you know, Rin is now a Jinchuriki of the Three Tails, and with Kushina here, you know, she would be still being like a side mother, like a motherly figure and a half, you know. She's still like, oh, there to say what's up and stuff, and have some food, make some food for them. Of course, she's definitely going to be a lot older, but, you know, she's still cool with them. And so, at this point in time, I think we've gotten to, now I'm just going to do a huge time skip, and, you know, of course, so Rin is here, and through some way, Madara has twisted Obito. I don't really know how Obito got twisted up and stuff, but I'm gonna say he did. And you guys can be like, oh, explanation, that's kind of bad. And, well, I'm sorry, but it's just I don't really have an explanation because not that type of guy who comes up with that sort of stuff. So of course, I definitely think that Obito, it was that stuff that happened with Rin was definitely planned by, or at least taken advantage of by Madara, and he used that to convince Obito to help him. And I feel like he would definitely have backups for just in case. So, have him fall in love with a different girl. Actually, I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have Obito fall in love with someone else, and then have her get killed. And because he feels like he's never gonna get out of there. He's never gonna see Ren again because this old man is keeping me here. While he is definitely still getting stronger, he is not going to be strong enough to get to fight Madara. So he definitely feels like, oh, all this stuff is happening. I can at least accept it and move on and try to get by in life. And so that's what he does. He's doing all this stuff. He's hanging out with Madara. It's Madara's like, oh, and he's trying to trick Madara. He's like, oh, I see your point. I will help you. And Madara's like, I'm not that dumb kid. Definitely see what you're trying to do. And so one day Zetsu comes in. And he brings this girl with him, and he's like, boss, I found this girl, out there, and she's injured. We need to help her, and Madara's asleep, and so it takes up to Obito to look after her, and this is part of Madara's plan. So he goes over and checks out the girl, and she's about his age. She's I don't know how old Obito was by that time. Here, actually, I'll look it up. So we'll say he's 13, right? So this is 2 years before, or actually we'll say he's wait, he's 20. So let's say Obito is around he's 11. Wait, how old was Obito? How old was Obito when he got crushed? So Obito's, he's 13, he's becoming a teenager. And so he sees this, really, like, I don't know, because I don't, but she's this really cute girl, and she's in tattered clothes, and you can't help but see a little tiny bit of cleavage, and so he gets a little blood trickle down his nose, but he casts it aside out of his mind, like, oh, I need to put it out of my mind. Rin's the only girl for me. And he's like, well, if come to the chance and this girl actually likes me, then you know, maybe I might, you know. So, so Obito's like, yeah, well, might have to get over Rin no matter what. I might be in here for like the rest of my life. I still have to wait for Madara to die, and you know, or that old man to die, and you know, it doesn't look like that he'll be dying anytime soon, even. And if you know, then he looks like he'll croak in a matter of days now. But you know, he's still hooked up to that statue, keeping him alive. So he still has a while left in him, and so you know he knows that, and he's you know okay, well, I definitely don't you know have you know I definitely don't have really anything going for me, so this is definitely kind of a plus. I actually have someone to talk to rather than you know the Zetsu, who really while are pretty cool, you know he doesn't really like talking to them because they're pretty annoying. And so you know he's like, oh, and so he wakes her up and he's like, you mind covering yourself up? And she's like, I don't really have anything to cover up with. She's you know blushing because you know there's a boy with a rather long hair here, and he's looking at her, you know, with a little blood trickling down his nose, and you know she's like, wait a minute, and she bonks him on the head, and she's like, quit looking at me. And of course Obito's like, well, I saved you, you know, and it's kind of my right. And he's like, and she's like, you're right? And you know he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything by it. And she's like, you best not. You know he's pretty scared because you know she kind of reminds him of Kushina, and you know she always used to scare him. And of course, you know, a little down the line he's fallen in love, you know. I'm skipping over a lot of this because you know I still want to get to like the point of the main Naruto bit before I end the stream, which I want to pretty soon. So yeah, so you know he's definitely you know like a oh well like oh I you know so he's so she's died, and you know he comes back and he's you know oh I won, and of course I think we might have to give her a name, so we'll name her Angel. You know, and Angel, she died, and Obito killed her, and it was on accident. You know, they were playing or whatever. They were like sparring, and all of a sudden, you know, he backhanded her, and you know he'd gotten pretty strong because with his Zetsu arm, and he snapped her neck, and you know he was like, well, hey, Ashley, you alright? And she wasn't responding, you know, and he's like, oh, Ashley, you alright? You know, did I knock you out? And, you know, like chuckling, and then he looks at her, and, you know, then he checks for her pulse, and then he, like, slowly realizes, like, oh, I just killed her, you know, and he's definitely, like, starting to get, like, a little, uneasy. And that's when Madara wakes up, and of course Obito at this point in time is breaking out, like crying and like shaking her and stuff. And you know Madara wakes up and he sees and he says, you know, don't you see the only thing that really exists in our world is failure? And you know that whole monologue that he goes about saying in the show, and you know, Obito, you know, finally sees what Madara is talking about, and he's like, yes, you know, he's like, is there any way that I could do to, you know, get her back, you know? And he's like, yes, you can create the infinite Tsukiyomi, you know, the dream world, where you can bring her back. And he's like, really? And I was like, yes, you can. And so that's why that's why he's with Madara now. And I'm sorry about that, whole explanation. But, just kind of came up with that on the spot. But I still think it's a pretty good explanation if I do say so myself. And so he's now Obito's completely with Madara now, because he killed the love of his life. So he's real sad now. And of course, what I mean. And so Obito's really like in his feats of depression. So he's like, oh, I can be with her again if all I have to do is do this, And even if other people, there sure have been other people who have lost stuff like me, like all this stuff. So now we go back to the night of the QB attack, and so you must be like wondering like, oh, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you talking about? How is what do you mean QB attack? He's like he's not Kushina isn't pregnant with Naruto or anything, and to that I say, she actually is. Except, this isn't Naruto talking about his little sister, And, let's be honest, like, little sister, he never had a little sister. And, I think he definitely would kind of, this is just to drive the plot further. So, he's gonna have a little sister. And so, little sister is being born, and Obito attacks, And he takes the Nine Tails out of Kushina, and all the same stuff happens as in canon. And so by that point, Minato and Kushina are dying, and Naruto senses it. While he does not have the Nine Tails sealed to him, he is still a rather skilled sensor. So he feels his parents' life force ebbing away, and he goes like, Lord Third, I know, I'm sorry, but I must go. I need to go see my parents. They're dying. And and he broke past the ninja who are guarding him, and he tells that to the Third, and he's like, and the Third's like, what? So they both sprint off to or like he's not dying, but let's say Naruto can feel his dad's chakra reserves getting extremely low, and Naruto's like, well, that shouldn't be happening, while he is fighting the Nine Tails, he should have sealed it inside of Mom already, and so he breaks past the Johnny, and they were guarding him, he did it pretty easily, and Kakashi's like, oh, what's up, Naruto, and he's like, I feel my dad, he's getting pretty low on chakra, he's saying that like in a hearty way, so he's like, oh, I'm just gonna go save his ass, and it's like he kind of owes me for something, so that way he can finally get back at him for something, and he goes there and he sees what's happening, like Kushina and had given birth, and it was his little sister, and and so he sees his little sister and he's like, yeah, and then he sees what's happening. The Nine Tails is out of Kushina, obviously, but oh, that shouldn't be happening, all that stuff, whatever. Yeah, I died. And so oh, why isn't Mom sealing it? Why isn't Dad sealing it? And he checks on her chakra reserves, and she's basically dead. Like she has like maybe like three or 10 minutes like left of this. So he's like, Mom, let go. I got this. And she looks at him and she's like, Naruto, and and then Minato sees him and he's like, Naruto, right, quick, help me out here. we're gonna seal the Ninetales into you and your sister. And he's like, what do you mean? Why don't you just seal it back in Mom? He's like, even if we applied the chakra seal to her, she doesn't have enough inner reserves to keep the Ninetales in check. And you know, Naruto to keep, and she's like, she doesn't have enough to because when the seals use, you know, the whole reason why it weakens in childbirth is because, you know, chakra is being siphoned off to that, and instead, you know, oh well, we can't, because, you know, she's while her chakra is being she doesn't have enough chakra to siphon off, basically, to the Ninetales to keep the seal active. And, you know, Naruto realizes this, and he's like, oh, okay. And so he's mourning the loss of his mom, and then all of a sudden, you know, kind of crying and stuff, and then all of a sudden, Big Talon comes rocketing in towards his little sister, and before he can even do anything, he's pulled back by his dad. You know, grasped him on the shoulder and pulled him back, and he launched himself towards Kushina, and, you know, in front of Naruto, and he and Kushina both get impaled. And, you know, now Naruto is losing both of his parents. You know, it's already really bad because he's losing his dad, but now he's losing both of his parents. And so Naruto's like, Dad, like, why did you do that? We couldn't have stopped it. And, you know, Minato's like coughing up blood, and he's like, not time, son. Anyways, there's no time to explain. You know, hurry, you must seal the Ninetales fox into yourself and your sister. You know, I will help, but only in, you know, I can't really do that much, you know. Of course, you know, Naruto's shaking his head now, and, you know, he accepts it. So he his dad does the Reaper Death Seal, and, you know, he takes the remaining chakra from Kushina and himself, and he puts it into Naruto. I mean, into his little sister. So, and her name is let's go. So so what would be the name, guys? So, like, first of all, you know, of course, I think it would be, you know, Naruto. And so, you know, Naruto, you know, seal the other half into Naruto, you know. And so the half of Ninetales that, you know, the Yang half, I think it was. It's the Yang half that, alright, wait, so Naruto would have the light half, because, you know, she's underexperienced, and Naruto would have the dark half. So Naruto would have Yin, and Naruto would have Yang, and so, you know, his parents are dying, and he promises that he'll look after them. And, you know, And so Naruto would definitely still have hated Claire's, but you know, a few people would also know she's the daughter of the fourth, and and people would know that because of course, you know, because you know her big brother Naruto's around, so she would still be able to get friends, but you know, she would definitely have a bit of trouble. You know, she would still have a bit of trouble with some academy teachers, but I feel like pretty much only Mizuki and yeah, Iruka would just kind of step in as the, you know, friend of Big Brother, you know, or like because Naruto helped out Iruka because, you know, he's like, oh, both of our parents died in the Nine Tails attack, you know, so him and Iruka kind of looked up to Naruto in a way, and so yeah. So yeah, Iruka looked up to Naruto, so he would see Naruto as his little sister, you know. He would not be the father, but he would still be like, he would still have harbor parental feelings for Naruto. Yeah, he would still, you know, while he would know Naruto had the Nine Tails sealed in him, you know, he would still feel for them. Anyways, I think I'm gonna end this, and it looks like we started on our first house. I think this is gonna be mine, and then continue later. Anyways, bye. So I'm just saving and quitting. I gotta start mining for stuff. We'll do that in the next stream.